Hey kid, want some money? Hi, Zizaran here, and this might seem like an insanely clickbaity videos, but if you've been watching the last ones, hopefully even the ones that are clickbaity have pretty good information in it, and the purpose of this video is going to be particularly how do you make a large amount of currency as a new player? So, one of the hardest things, in my opinion, for a new player in Path of Exile is that you don't have a fucking clue what is worth anything. So unless it is direct currency, you don't know what it's worth. Well, that's the purpose of this video. I'm going to start listing things that you can do as a new player that is very simple to understand. Some of the how to, with slightly more details is covered in other videos. But let's start off. So first of all, we have VALDO'S Rest with the farming the harbingers. So on VALDO'S Rest with the passive trees, when you have the atlas, you can have that it's one harbinger guaranteed per map, and this harbinger it gets loads of reinforcements. It covers your entire screen. Now if you want to make a character specifically for farming this, pretty much any chaos skill is really good because these guys have proximity shields and they're a pain to deal with. Personally, I did a chaos slinger, but anything like caustic arrow, toxic rain, etc., pretty much any chaos skill will work. Bane, soul rend, essence drain. The reason why this is so good to farm when you're a new player is, at least on Ritual Softcore, Ancient Orbs are 25 Chaos Orbs each, and you can farm a lot of these per hour. This is going to beat anything you can do like Chaos Recipe or, identifying and selling rares and stuff. It's a very, very great, straightforward way of just grinding out currency, and you don't really need any knowledge. If you're like getting experience, you want to still do high tier maps. I was doing tier 13s. You don't really need to do that for just profit though. You could do like tier 1s, tier 5s, or whatever. And whenever the maps are so low, that means that you can go in and leave right after killing the harbinger. You don't need to kill the rest of the map. So just grinding this out for exalted shards and ancient orbs, really, really good. And in this region, if you get the Platinum Watchstone, you can roll these, which is very, very rare. I wouldn't really recommend doing this when you're new. I just figured I'd mention it. But you can roll Harbingers in the area, drop rarer value currency shards, which will get you more exalted shards, give you a chance of mirror shards, and more often ancient orbs. But even with none of this, it's still an insanely profitable way for new players to make currency. But there are other ways as well that are very, very easy. And while that might be one of the best, you can also do Blight. Blighted maps are incredibly easy. If you feel like blights are difficult, I do have a video covering exactly how to do blights. Pretty much any character can do it. You need very little damage on your actual character, and it's just about using the towers properly. So check out the blight video if you're struggling with them. But blight drops a large amount of raw currency, so it's very, very good to just farm like that, and oils as well can sell for a decent amount. The really good thing about all these methods is you don't really need to understand items. I did talk to some people in my community and they were like, oh, crafting jewels is really, really good for making currency, but that understands knowing what a good jewel is. So what we're trying to outline here is just the most bestest ways for raw currency, and blight is pretty up there. Now, some of these methods will also depend on how many or how few are doing them, but I figure I'm gonna mention as many as possible that have just, where there's more focus on raw currency drops. But obviously blight, like the oils, if a lot of people are getting oils easily, they will go down in value. So keep that in mind, and maybe look back at this video for future leagues and think, nobody's really doing that right now, let's farm it. Heist as well. Heist isn't everybody's favorite mechanic, but it is insanely profitable in raw currency. Even doing the normal heists, especially focusing on lockpicking, is the ones that drop the most currency. And even the small chests in pretty much any heist can give a large amount of currency. So there is also the grand heists, where you have special replicas that will require more research on your part, where you will actually have to look if the replica is worth selling or not. But as far as just running it for currency, this is really, really good. It'll shit out every minor currency, loads of chaos orbs, a decent amount of exalts. In new VASTIR as well, we have Legion. If you upgrade the Legion nodes, there's 3 of them there. Running Legion becomes very, very powerful, and a large amount of currency drops here as well. You get a lot of emblems. They're very straight up to sell. You get a lot of raw currency. You get loads of incubators. And there is, again, nothing you really have to understand here for items. So these are really, really good ways to get currency without having to understand, like, oh, did I just pick up a really good weapon? Is this a really good one? Maybe you don't have anybody to ask if these items are good or not. So I figured I would try to make it as clear as possible what like the best ways to make currency is. And some of these do require ascending your atlas, which is, you know, you have to do the 4 maven fight, you have to do the 5 maven fight, but even having 2 points for any of these is, you know, it covers you. That's all you need. You don't need to go like super in depth with it. And the game does give you a fairly good inclination on how to do it early on. There is one as well. This is probably the most complicated of the methods, but it is an insanely profitable method. And that is farming harvest in HAEWARK Hamlet. There are actually 5 really good nodes here. So this one is the one where it's definitely worth getting all 10 points. The 3 harvest nodes, they're all worth getting. And when you have all the harvest nodes here, you have a 10% chance every map that you will get a harvest. It might sometimes feel like you have a 1% chance, but you know, we're supposed to have 10. And the essence nodes are really good as well. Deafening essences, you get a lot of shrieking essences, so it's very easy to get deafening essences here, and they will sell pretty well. Deafening spites are like 10 to 15C last I checked each. So that will stack up very quickly, very easy to sell, especially in bulk, because people love crafting with essences for high-end crafting. And on top of that, the seeds are sellable. So how do you sell seeds? Well, you can go in trade chat and sell them there, but the most popular way that most of my friends that are playing Trade League are doing it, it's called the Forbidden Trove. So you can just Google the Forbidden Trove and go to the Discord there, and yeah, it should be pretty easy to understand. They have like a rating system, so you know, if someone has a bad rating, maybe they're gonna scam you. But yeah, it's really good, and a lot of the exalts, annulments, etc., like exalt fire, annul fire, or even better, exalt speed, they're like 5x and shit. So getting those, which is more likely in HAEWARK Hamlet, is another good way of making currency. Obviously this is the most complicated one, but I figured I'd mention it anyway, just in case there are some more like medium veteran players that maybe don't really know about it yet. So these are pretty much all the things I can think of, which I think justifies the clickbait, because these are pretty great ways for new players to make currency. I feel like a lot of people don't understand how hard and difficult items are for new players in Path of Exile. So telling people like, ooh, these are easy crafts to make money off, doesn't really help. Actually, last but not least, I almost forgot gems. A lot of players are currently not leveling gems in your offhand right now. It can be kind of annoying trying to figure out what is like an expensive gem to sell, and the reason people are leveling them in the offhand is, well, there's no downside. You're not sharing the experience between all the gems, and things like essence drain 21, toxic rain 21, maybe purities, like there's so many things that are worth selling at level 21, and a lot of things are even worth selling at 20. A level 20 uncorrupted gem might be like 10 chaos, and a level 21 could be anything from 60 to 120. So these are just passively leveling while you're playing, and are very important in my opinion to be doing on every single character. So I hope this video helps you guys. I stream on Twitch every day, sub if you like the videos, but more importantly, try to die less than I do.